Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Thursday, March 5th, 2026. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, CDM number 9. Well, we have a stationary front hanging around our region and a cold front to our north, and we're kind of sandwiched in between three air masses. Polar air mass in New England, a maritime air mass over us coming in from the Atlantic, and a tropical air mass to the south. And that's leading to waves of rainfall and a little bit of ice in extreme northern Connecticut. We just got to 33 degrees this hour around Hartford. And again, watch out for those roadways, especially northern Connecticut, the Poconos, the Catskills, especially the higher elevations. Going to be some slick roadways, okay? Everywhere else, waves of rainfall, melting snowpack, so watch out for some pretty significant ponding on the roadways, potential for some hydroplaning as well. We have a lot of salt, a lot of oil, a lot of buildup on the roadways. So just use some caution, especially with this rainfall that's moving through. And it's going to be moving through in waves throughout the day as we are sandwiched between these air masses and waves of low pressure moving through. Temperatures generally range from the upper 30s to mid 40s around the region, and really not going to be moving all that much today. Basically in the 40s for most of the region, a few areas in the 50s, especially down towards Wildwood and Cape May this afternoon. And of course, we also have low clouds and fog, and the low clouds and fog are from a combination of the warm air moving over the melting snowpack, which leads to areas of locally dense fog. So we just got pretty much everything to make for a very raw spring day. When we take a look at our surface map, radar and surface map from WeatherTap, here's our next wave of low pressure that's approaching with waves of rainfall. So this part of a short wave is moving through right now with periods of rain this morning. Get a little bit of a break in the late morning, early afternoon, and then this moves through late afternoon through tomorrow morning with this wave of low pressure moving along this wavering stationary front. And while it's wavering around, we'll have temperatures jumping around as a result, with again another rather raw day tomorrow with temperatures only in the mid to upper 40s. But hey, at least it's not snowing, right? We get rid of that snowpack, start to get some of that rainfall into the soil, which, by the way, this is great news because we've been dealing with drought conditions. Even though it may not seem like it, especially with our winter storms, yeah, we still are dealing with some drought conditions, and what you want to do is get this type of melting in place where it's a gradual melting. It's not rapid, so it gets into the soil, it gets into the water table, and then you add on these waves of rainfall that isn't, 2-3 inches of rain, but a half an inch here and an inch there. That allows for the water to get into the water table, reduces the threat for a drought, and sets us up for the rest of spring in the summer, where generally you're not dealing with dangerous conditions, very dry conditions with fire weather and all that stuff. So this is actually great news for us, even though it doesn't feel like it. Okay, so that is certainly a little bit of a silver lining to the dark clouds for today. On the infrared satellite picture, here we have our stationary boundary and just waves of low pressure moving along it. This is from convection from thunderstorms. And by the way, when this moves through tomorrow morning, do not be surprised if you hear some rumbles of thunder as the cold front moves through. Elevated thunderstorms, nothing severe or anything of that nature, but don't be surprised if you hear a little bit of rumble of thunder as this rainfall moves through tomorrow, okay? So let's dump into our forecast, shall we, for today. Overcast cloud cover, drizzle, waves of showers, kind of raw out. Temperatures in the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior and the New York City metro, upper 40s to lower 50s in the Philadelphia metro. Tonight into tomorrow morning. Now, again, if you're in northern Connecticut and if you're in the higher elevations of the Poconos and Catskills, please use caution as low temperatures will get to right around 32 degrees, and there will be some potential here for freezing drizzle and freezing rain. Everywhere else is just rain. But if you're above, let's say, 2,000 feet in the Poconos and Catskills, or you're in northern Connecticut, definitely use caution tomorrow morning. Low temperatures tomorrow with waves of rainfall will range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. So just a very chilly, raw, ugly rainfall. By tomorrow afternoon, we start to clear out. An isolated shower is possible, but we'll see some sunshine with high temperatures rebounding into the mid to upper 40s. As we get to tomorrow night into Saturday morning, look for a scattered cloud cover. Again, watch out for an isolated shower or two, but low temperatures will range from the mid to upper 30s throughout the region. Everyone's above freezing, by the way. And by Saturday afternoon, you have scattered cloud cover again, a threat for an isolated shower here and there via a trough, with high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior and the New York City metro, upper 50s to lower 60s in the Philadelphia metro. Coolest location will be Long Island, because you have the influence of the Atlantic Ocean, whereas the interior more likely to be around 55, 56. Islip be more likely to be around 51, 52. As we get to Saturday night into Sunday morning, we have a cold front moving through, and oh, by the way, we are moving the clocks forward. We're jumping ahead, losing an hour of sleep, and messing up when the model data is supposed to come out. But hey, this isn't my idea. So yes, we will be springing ahead tomorrow on Saturday night into Sunday morning with showers moving through, almost like as if it's a sad occasion, because it is, with low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 50s in the New York City metro, and mid to upper 50s in the Philadelphia metro. Now, as this cold front's moving through, the cooler, really can't call this cold air, the cooler air from the Pacific air mass will move in with high temperatures on Sunday afternoon ranging from the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior and lower to mid 60s along the coast. Now, on Monday, we start our shift to well above normal temperatures. And I'm going to put out a spring fever alert for early next week, because if there was ever a setup for major spring fever and everyone disappearing from the office, it's going to be next week. With low temperatures on Monday ranging from the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 50s to mid 60s on Long Island, upper 60s to lower 70s in the New York City metro, the northern interior, and the Philadelphia metro. So everyone gets into the game except for Long Island on Monday. Okay. Then we get to Tuesday. High pressure and control. There's a threat for an isolated shower via a trough and the warm air invading in, but for the most part, we're looking at scattered cloud cover. Low temperatures will range from the lower to mid 40s. High temperatures will range from the lower 50s to lower 60s on Long Island. Upper 60s to lower 70s over the interior and New York City metro. And mid 70s in the Philadelphia metro. But wait, there's more. On Wednesday, with a cold front well off to our northwest, we'll have a strong southwesterly wind, scattered cloud cover with temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 50s for lows and high temperatures ranging from, unfortunately, mid 50s to mid 60s on Long Island, upper 60s to lower 70s in the New York City metro and over the interior, and mid 70s to possibly even a few lower 80s in the Philadelphia metro. Now, the lower 80s are most likely going to be like here, okay, southwest New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, maybe just south of Philadelphia, but they will be present with very warm mid-level temperatures, okay? Then we get reality slap us right back in the face. Now, I'm sure many people will look at this and scream snow. Understand that the surface temperatures here are going to be above freezing, so none of this is actually going to accumulate. So just be very clear about that unless you're in the highest elevations. But yes, a strong cold front will be moving through with waves of showers moving through the region. In fact, as you can see, when we look at the data here and really break it down, most of this is a cold rain. Then possibly this area right here could see some wet accumulating snow above 2,000 feet, maybe 1,500 feet. We'll see how that works out. So basically, your northern interior, northwestern Connecticut, the Poconos and Catskills, your ski areas could see a little bit of wet, very wet snow. Temperatures will be all over the place on Thursday. Low temperatures will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. So Again, we're going to have a nice gradient setting up around the region. So let's go upper 20s to mid 30s over the interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. That works better. High temperatures, this is even far greater of a range. Lower to mid 30s in the higher elevations. Then once we get below 1,500 feet, let's go about upper 30s to mid 40s over the rest of the northern interior. Then along the coast in the New York City metro, upper 40s to lower 50s, and in the Philadelphia metro, lower to mid 50s. That's why, again, a lot of this is going to just be maybe some snowflakes in the air, but most of this is just rain. And temperatures basically cascading. What I can see here is that temperatures basically fall off as we move on through the day as this cold air mass comes through. But don't worry, it will moderate very quickly, so it won't last long. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day. And as always, stay safe out there.